Name?
Hi, Leroy. This is Justin Kantor from soulmusic.com.
Hello, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, okay. Kind of scrambling, but I'm good.
Same here. All right. Well, let's start from the beginning. Tell me about your childhood. Where did you grow up, and how did you spend your days?
I grew up in Harlem with my mom, my stepdad, Morgan Burgess, my 5 sisters primarily, because it was a while before my 4 sisters and myself and my mom and dad.
Okay.
I spent my days going to school, as you might expect, and every moment that I could get, I would try to get to a piano and work on music, because there was a lot of music in my life. My mom always played music. My mom also sang. She's a classically trained contralto.
Okay.
And music also runs in our family. So the bug had really bit me, and so I ran around chasing it.
So
I spent my early life chasing it, while most other kids were out having, doing kid stuff.
yeah.
For me, my thing was to find a piano and start banging away at it. So that's how I spent most of my childhood.
So did you consciously think to yourself at some point in your childhood, like, I want to be a professional pianist? Or what was your thinking in terms of the scope of the music? Was it just something you did naturally and you didn't think further about it, or were you making plans?
I love music, and my mom said that I started singing. Singing and talking happened simultaneously for me.
Okay.
Okay. As much as I was learning to talk, I was learning to sing. And I was singing my answers to my mother.
That's cool.
And and we were also in the church, as my grandparents, Walter and Ivy Bell, went around the country building small churches and helping people build small churches. So we had a big religious background. So that meant I went to church every Sunday and sang in the choir and so forth and so on. So yeah, singing was around me, and I began to, I don't know, maybe as early on as 4 or 5, start to consciously dream and develop an idea in my head that, I might actually be able to do this.
Wow. Now, I've read that you are of some relation to Robert Coolbell and some of his bandmates.
Yeah, the Robert, Ronald, and Kevin Bell. Now they've changed their name to Brian.
Right.
They're my cousins.
Okay.
And my mom's second cousin is Tom Bell.
Oh, okay. The famous producer from Philadelphia. Okay.
Yeah, because my mom and her people come partially from Philadelphia and from Georgia.
Oh, okay. Were they presences during your childhood that you were influenced by?
Well, Tom Bell used to come to the family picnics that we had.
Okay.
We have an annual family picnic, family reunion picnic. And in the early years, say around, from 0 to about 8, 9, he used to attend.
Okay.
And when he was attending, I used to follow him around.
Okay.
Did you brain about
did you know
everything I'm sorry.
I was just gonna ask, was it because you had seen him play at your house, or did you heard records and your mom said that's Tom Bell that did that, or what?
I began to hear his work on the radio.
Okay.
And was aware of some of the things that he was doing. His early work with Jerry Butler, his early work with the Delphonics.
Okay.
Before they were the Delphonics and stuff like that. Those things intrigued me.
Yeah.
So I started chasing them all around the picnic grounds until my parents made me stop.
Yeah. And what was his response to that?
Well, he used to impart many things that I didn't know that I would retain, but I actually retained them. he would tell me things about songwriting and, you know, about singing and give me advice and so forth and so on. And these things stayed in my head. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, I don't know if you could actually call it tutelage.
Okay.
All right? Because it was informal. Mm-hmm. However, over the small amount of years that I was exposed to him, mm-hmm. I managed to retain a lot of the information that he imparted.
What do you think was like the most important thing from him that you got?
Well, the more important stuff happened as I began to study his work. Mm-hmm. When I became, you know, around the age of 11, 12, mm-hmm. stuff like that, 10, 11, 12, I really started looking at his work and beginning to analyze his arrangemental style and incorporate that into my own work. Mm-hmm. So that kind of happened as a result of my being exposed to him.
And does anything stand out in your mind about those experiences, about for when you were with Today Records, whether it was the recording or the writing or touring?
Well, with Today Records, what I enjoyed about our relationship with Today is because they were such a hands-on company and a young company, mm-hmm. they really nurtured the artists and they gave us time and they put time behind us mm-hmm. in order to, you know, develop ourselves. And this is a time when, you know, companies were still into artist development. Mm-hmm. All right? So they took the time to know, between Patrick and Terry Phillips and Boo Fraser, the executives at Today Records, they spent time grooming us and nurturing us and, you know, letting us come up into their office and work on songs and rehearse and so forth and so on. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there was a good relationship as regards that.
So was that where you developed a lot of your songwriting style, would you say? Or, you know...
No, actually, my songwriting style was developed between the ages of 11 and 15.
Okay.
All right, because my family and I moved out of one housing complex in Harlem to another. Mm-hmm. And in the second housing complex, there was an organization called the Cadet Corps of Central Harlem.
Okay.
And they had a musician there by the name of Herby Jones. Mm-hmm. And Herby was actually Duke Ellington's chief rhythm and brass arranger.
Oh, okay.
For the Duke Ellington Orchestra.
Cool.
And he took a shine to me and an interest in me very, very early on. Mm-hmm. And so I began, you know, I would say that my first formal training began with him.
Okay.
And he taught me melodies and song development and how to play and how to experience. He taught me what music feels like. Mm-hmm. All right, and the feelings and emotions that can be gleaned from, you know, different musical styles and the major scale and the minor scale and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He took a lot of time with me, and I think we had lessons every day from 11 to about 14.
So I was wondering, because you had a unique path that you took as far as the variety of labels that you were involved in, ranging from South Soul to Vanguard to Sam, NIA or NIA, and on and on. Was it something where you consciously or set out to approach each label with a different project, or were there some instances where they came to you through a connection you had, or how did that all kind of go down?
Well, basically, they would come to me through various connections, Greg Carmichael, Patrick Adams, etc. And they were aware of, you know, the type of songs that myself, James Calloway, and my partner, Sonny Davenport, my cousin,
the drummer,
were composing. Right? And the three of us were just, you know, trying to make great songs and doing so. Mm-hmm. And so as a result, people were now, you know, in touch with, you know, my compositional prowess or whatever, mm-hmm. right? And so more and more calls kept coming in for compositions coming from our camp. Mm-hmm.